What's going on, everybody? It's David Piatek, and today I'm going to talk about the ServiceNow portal from the VA. Not that long ago, I did a video talking about how to contact the VA, and I skipped over or kind of skimmed over the VA service portal. This portal is how you can get written documentation from the VA. It's something that I do, right? So if I have disagree with the VA on something that's is said in the VA handbook, then I'll submit a ticket explaining everything. That way, in writing, they get back to me. And this has actually been a very helpful tool for people that may be uh, in the VAST program, right? That's going to be ending here shortly. Like I had someone reach out the other day saying, "Look, I'm in this repayment plan. I don't know if I'm going to be part of the VAST program anymore, and I can't get anything written from the VA." Well, this is the solution. This is how you get answers. And there's actually a lot of things that you can ask the VA for to get that in writing because not it's not always in writing. Like VA condo waivers aren't in the handbook or a circular. That's us industry knowledge, which that's why we do videos on stuff like this. So without further ado, let me share the the form that this is on, and I'm also going to link it down below, and I also linked it in that other video, which I'll link in this video as well. Right, so this is where you guys see submit a new ServiceNow request. Program participants and veterans may submit written inquiries to the VA service portal now. In the past, what would happen is you'd be restricted to be able to message them unless you were a lender. So think of it like when you do your VA disability stuff, your VSO could contact the VA directly, but you can't do it and get the answers. This opens it up completely. So this is the portal that it's going to take you to. So this is the VA service portal, loan guarantee support. Now we're going to go through a couple things on this. Let me just head back one step because there's different roles that people can apply or submit messages through. So the veteran service member, surviving spouse, appraisers, right? Doesn't apply to pretty much everyone on watching. Lender or real estate professional, right? So realtors can also reach out to the VA. This is what we use to reach out to them. Mortgage services or attorneys, builder or compliance inspectors, and other specially adapted housing stakeholders, and also for staff as well. So let's go into the veteran service member and surviving spouses categories. So there is a couple categories that will come up. So if you have an existing VA home loan, right, and having trouble making payments or need assistance with an existing VA loan, this is the tab you're going to select. Now I'm going to go through each one of these and what services you can get from them. Now went through this a little bit earlier. That we will have one issue of showing up all the different categories, but I'm going to walk you through them. So in this case, right, you put your first name, last name, email, phone number, because they may reach out to you. The state that you're in, it's important because uh, that's which regional loan center it's going to be routed to for them to be able to help you out with that. Then you're going to have the zip code associated with the property, so you'll be able to get to that. And then you're also going to have the category. Now, this is the category piece that is not coming up on this, but I'm going to walk you guys through what it is. So, the first option that comes up on there is trouble making loan payment delinquent loan. That's number one. Second one, can't reach the servicer. And the third one is questions about restoration of entitlement. So, again, if you're having issues with a lender trying to help you, you've tried it yourself through va.gov and you can't get through, you can submit a ticket. Now, the good part about the ticket, remember, number one, you have written confirmation, right? That's huge. And two, they're normally pretty quick about getting back to you, roughly a couple of days. Now, next category is eligibility or mortgage financing, right? So, looking to obtain a certificate of eligibility or in the process of buying or refinancing. This is a great tool. A lot of people will also ask, hey, I want to complain about blank. This is also where you can do that. And trust me, they read this stuff. I talk with those guys. Okay. So again, first name, last name, phone number. You're gonna put all that stuff in. If you have a digital VA loan number, you're going to need that. But again, these are the different issues that you will have, right? So closing disclosure fee issue, prior approval issue, funding fee. Credit requirements. So if you have questions about your credit and you disagree with what the lender is telling you, this is where you can do that. You can ask general questions, release of liability. I'm assuming that's on an assumption, which you can also ask questions about assumptions in here. If you will have multiple VA home loans, you can also ask about that. And the obvious one is a certificate of eligibility. Again, sorry for whatever reason, when I click on this, it doesn't come up on the video here, but I do see it. But this is again where you guys can click it and see what options exist in that. If you have questions about a property or appraisal question, right? This is like a big one that we've done tons of videos on property conditions, and still to this day, so many veterans disqualify themselves or get steered away from their benefit from the appraisal process. But again, here, again, you're going to put your contact information in. Um, and then here's not asking for a loan number, which is interesting that they don't ask that here. But these are the different questions you have around the appraisal process. Policy clarification, right? So, let's say something's written in the handbook or they issued a circular and you want to get clarity because you're maybe arguing with the appraiser or an underwriter. This is where you would submit that. They also look at the ROVs, that's the reconsideration of values. So if your appraisal comes in low, and like we just had this happen recently. Appraisal came in low, and we were like, no, the appraiser did it inaccurate, which was true. And then we submitted, VA appraiser already cleared the whole thing. And, basically, normally you'd be like, well, we're stuck with this, and, veteran can't buy the home. But the veteran was on the same page, and like, we want to reconsider the value. So we submitted all the paperwork to the VA, to the regional loan center, and then we followed up with a ServiceNow ticket, and we were able to get a response within a day. It's pretty crazy. Waivers or partial release requests of waivers. Like, let's say we're doing a condo and we need a condo waiver. Yes, we submit it on our VA portal, but then we go in and request a ServiceNow ticket so it gets done quickly. This is like what your lender should be doing for you, because like that, I get so many calls from folks out there that are like at the right at time of closing and things are going wrong. This is how you can speed things up. And if you guys are interested, I'd love to help you out in using your VA home loan benefits across the country. You could always schedule a call with me down below. If you have complaints about the appraisal, this is a great spot to put it. A lot of people have, they say they have a lot of complaints, but there's not really that many. But if you don't agree with something and you want to file a complaint, you can do that. And then a status update for like a notice of value and appraisal, you can also submit it through the portal. Now, this is more from a consumer side, because on the lending side, we can actually go in and see all of that. Specially adapted housing for disabled veterans. This is a big one. So if you applied for a specially adapted housing grant, the different categories that exist on this is if you have a complaint, that's the first thing. That's not good. Get us general status, like what's your eligibility, grant approval. But again, you'd have to submit something. Any policy clarification, again. So if you have questions, you can get a response in writing. And then general information about the specially adapted housing grant. And again, this is why this is such a big, and if you have training requests, which I'm not sure what someone would use that for. So again, this is why that portal is so important, both from a consumer standpoint, that you're having issues with something regarding the VA home loan. You may hear something on this channel because all the information we provide is mostly from the VA handbook and also experience, right? And the VA circulars that come out, because that's what empowers you to utilize your VA home loan, right? And we'll be doing a separate video on understanding the differences in how the VA loan works across different lending platforms, because you would think that the VA loan is the same across the board for everyone. Well, the short answer to that, it's not. But we're going to break down how that happens so you could better empower yourself to make the right financial decision and use that amazing VA home loan. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button, share the video with other fellow veterans in the community, and we'll catch you guys soon.